Thanks for coming to the practice today. I always like starting my practice either in downward facing dog or child's pose. And this variation of child's pose involves a twist, and we'll be in the child's pose for a while. So have blocks, have blankets, have something to rest your head on, and just notice as you stay in the pose and enjoy the stillness how the side body lengthens so much, how you get just this nice opening in the upper chest. So enjoy the practice. As we begin, child's pose, as you know, has your knees really wide apart and your inner toes toward each other. This time we might want to use a block or a blanket or something for our head because we'll be twisting just slightly in this child's pose and we'll be here for a little bit. So thread one arm under so that as you reach the other arm forward and draw your pelvis back, just help us open up this upper chest area. So as you weave one arm under, as you have the other arm straight and forward, you draw the pelvis back. Just having a little pillow for your head so that you can hang out here for a bit. Not hang out, but perform the pose. And as you do, just see how you can refine before just settling in. So there's not much fidgeting around once you find that. And just by threading one arm under, you start to bring your breath to expand one side a little bit more than the other. And again, just as if we're trying to create gills here through our lower ribs, you breathe in and just kind of imagine those ribs expanding so fully. Maybe you can inch your fingers forward on the hand that's reaching toward the top of your yoga mat. Keep on drawing the pelvis back. Now, if your knees are feeling like this is not working for them, just find a towel or a washcloth or something to put right behind your knees so that you can open up the knee joint really nicely. And just bring some fullness to that area of the lungs, just expanding so fully. Soften your facial muscles. Take 3 more breaths here in this pose. 2 more. One more. And release out of the pose. Come to all fours position. And in all fours position, just step your hands just a little, maybe one step forward so that you can come to downward facing dog or puppy dog pose, whichever works for you. And come to tiptoes in your pose. Lean your pelvis over to one side. Lean your pelvis to the opposite side. And you'll probably notice just by moving your pelvis from side to side, there's one side that's a lot more expansive than the other. So let's come down to all fours position and do the same thing. Child's pose with a slight bit of a twist as you thread the arm underneath your armpit of the opposite arm and bring your pelvis back. See now, as you press the back of the hand that's threaded press it pretty firmly. So this is not a static pose. It certainly looks it, but you are actually doing a lot of action with the arms. Even with the spread fingers, you're pressing into the earth, but especially with the breath, you're kind of coaxing it to expand through the side body. And sometimes when you thread your hand underneath the armpit and just kind of notice the hand with the palm facing up, sometimes the thumb is way far away from the mat. And see if you can draw your thumb a little bit closer to the mat. So you've got a nice rotation of the forearm there. Let your head rest so that the neck muscles release, so that you can just take your energy and your focus into the side body, into the area of the shoulders. And once again, be careful with your knees. If your knees don't like this, please support that by placing something behind your knees. Keep that support. As you inch your hand that's reaching toward the front of the mat a little bit more, and you press the fingernails of the hand that is threaded. Breathe in and expand through the side body. And most people just kind of let their belly just kind of hang here. So rather than that, see if you can draw from the pubic bone to the navel back to the spine. And you'll see just by doing that subtle action, you'll get so much more fullness, or you should be able to see kind of this expansion of the side body even more. 3 more breaths here in this side. 2 more. And 1 more. And lift yourself up to come to downward facing dog again, just to check it out. And if downward dog doesn't work for you, just puppy dog will. Just a way to check in, to find with the knees slightly bent and the sit bones lifted, as the pelvis moves very slowly side to side. Just once again, check in to find the differences here. Maybe find the similarities now that you've done both sides. The yin yoga practice just allows us to focus on different parts of the body, and by staying into the pose quite a bit longer, we can really draw more fullness there and build on to all the teachings, all the poses that we've worked on to see how we can create more fullness.
Thanks for joining me in the practice. Now you can do a full practice or lie in Shavasana for a few moments or move on to the activities of your day. Namaste.